Hey, this is Tony with MusicGuyOnline.com. I have your 3-minute mix fix video tutorial of the week, and today let's talk about LCR, or left, center, right panning. Now, normally when we're panning tracks, we're taking advantage of the full kind of 360 degree or 180 degree, depending on how you think about it, space in the mix in terms of the width. As you can see, I have an old mix here. The song's called Squall. And aside from the guitars, everything is sort of panned, a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. I'm sort of trying to give everything its own little space here and there, taking, full advantage. So nothing's, quite on top of each other, things like that. See, even years later, I'm still making little tweaks here and there. But anyway, that's generally how I approach mixing when it comes to panning. Now, LCR is the idea that you're only using 3 positions when it comes to panning. That's full left, full right, or straight up the center. And the idea being that it unclutters a mix when everything occupies one of these 3 spaces. And then, there's clear separation between the far left and the middle, and then the far right in the middle, and of course the far ends of the spectrum in relation to each other. So let's listen to a verse normally. And as I go, I'm going to start panning everything, hard left and right. Vocals up the center. All right. Bass up the middle. Those were the best days of my life. Just close your eyes. All right. So maybe a bit cleaner. I mean, in some cases you might think, like the bell, it's a bit too far off to one side. But I mean, the argument you can't make against it is that, everything doesn't feel stereo, because everything, like I said, far left or right, or, vocals, bass, those things are going to stay up the middle. So now let's play the second verse, and I'm going to undo everything I did so we can compare it and see which we prefer. We came in September, hoping everything and got lost all the way there, could never remember. We stopped at all the shops, we ran down the boardwalk, the sun without, and then with LCR, without, with. So maybe you don't hear a big difference, but if you're listening in headphones, you'll especially hear the difference as everything, moves out left and right. I personally feel like we're using the whole stereo field more efficiently when we're, using the panning positions that we've chosen, using the whole thing and making sure everything has a space instead of loading up everything in the left or right or center, where it does sort of stand on top of each other. I mean, things are more open, sure, but it just doesn't feel quite as natural in that way, for maybe lack of a better term. So, you can give it a shot. LCR panning. Some mixing engineers swear by it. To each their own. It's not as much my thing, as you can see if you've watched these videos, but it's worth giving some attention to. So there you go. All right. I am Tony with Music Guy Online. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you next week.